Hi, I wanted to talk to you about the types of things you should be looking for to tell your realtor when you're hunting for a new house. We're going to go over these things, okay? Because it's important that you know what you really want and what you're looking for. And it may be overwhelming, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, to be like, what do you mean? What do I want? Here's what I mean. Two things most important: location and price. And I would put them on the same tier just because location may be the most important to you because you're looking for a certain school district or to be near work or grandparents or grandkids. Or it may be that the price is more important and where it is doesn't hold as much weight for you, but those are still the two maximum things. So talk with whoever you're buying your house with or any other decision maker involved and think about like what of those two things are most important and how you can prioritize them and let your realtor know. You're also going to want to give your realtor a window, like you want to give a maximum amount and say, hey, this is my maximum amount I'm qualifying for, but I don't want to be house poor. So we're going to go to the lower end of that. I don't want to be above this price. So let them help you, but let them know what your max is just so that they know if they find the perfect house for you that hits all your boxes, they can still show it to you instead of like hiding it because they're like, oh, they won't go above this. And then maybe you can get it a little bit under that. But you just want to kind of give them your realistic parameters. It's up to you how much you spend, so it's not going to hurt you to let them know. It's going to hurt you to let the other realtor know, though. So don't worry, your realtor has a very strict confidentiality that they may not give that type of information to the other realtor. So you don't have to be too concerned about that. So location and price. Now we're going to look at like the layout of the house. How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? That may or may not be super important to you, but some people will need, if it's just a couple and they don't plan on having children, or maybe they've already left the nest, they may want 2 bedrooms, one for them and one for an office. They may want to entertain and have kids come over and also have a guest room. So just think about how many bedrooms you need, keeping in mind who's sleeping where, who's bunking where, if you got bunk beds, and whether you do need like an office space or a bonus room of some sort. And if you need 4 bedrooms because you need an office and it only has 3, be open to looking at 3 bedrooms because there may be some office spaces. Another thing you want to think about is how many bathrooms. Do you have teenage girls? Maybe it's real important there's more than a half bath for them to share. And then you want to think about like yard. Do you need a fenced in backyard? Do you have the funds to build a fence if you find the perfect house? Which I've done before because I found the perfect backyard, but we needed to fence it in because we are dog people. Okay, but what are the things that you want? Right here in the front of Tega Cay is a huge and enormous playground. So if you've got little kids, that's great. And there's basketball right down there, which is also great because dads like to meet up there and bring their kids and play basketball. So there's a lot of bro crews down there, and you've got your kids over here. Now, the best part is it also comes with a walking trail. This walking trail is the entire reason that I chose this neighborhood. For me, every house I bought, this is the 4th house I've purchased to live in as my own. And the number one thing that's most important to me is, can I run from my front door? Now, to make this video, I drove up to the playground so that I can say that's kind of the head of the park and where it starts, which is right across from Tega Cay City Hall and the police station. But I can actually hit this trail from my house. I just head up the neighborhood and it meets to the trail with a little stop crossing and everything. So now that I'm headed back the other way, you can see this is the head of my neighborhood right here in Harbor. I love it. I would say it's probably like a mid to starter home neighborhood for Tega Cay. It doesn't have any townhouses or condos, but the single family homes are a little bit more affordable, especially up to the front of it, than some of the homes in Tega Cay. But there are areas of Tega Cay that do have townhomes and condos. So there's a lot of price points to be had here. It's a little bit newer construction than deeper on the peninsula, where you've got some lakefront properties that need a lot of work, but they're worth it for the location. So just keep that in mind. Older Tega Cay issues, the closer to the front of Tega Cay and off peninsula are going to be newer construction. And when you get to Shoreline Parkway, which is the cross street for this playground, then you're going to find some larger, more modern homes, newer homes, better construction that are definitely a little higher end. So Shoreline Parkway has like all of those neighborhoods. So you start kind of going up and up in scale. So you can live in Tega Cay anywhere from, I'd say, probably out to the higher 200s, maybe 300, lower 300s, all the way up to the over 1 million mark for lakefront. So anywhere you want, we got it here in Tega Cay. This trail goes for miles. I can take huge runs. I can train for a marathon in this neighborhood. I haven't, but I have trained for a half marathon. And it is a runner's paradise because it is really hilly. So I have all these different variations of runs that I can take that have a different degree of difficulty and distance with hills. So yes, for me, what's important? Running trails, for sure. Now, some other things that may be important. I like to ensure that my house is not on a corner or on a very busy road because I have children. Now, as my children are getting older, that becomes a little bit less of a concern, but it's still a concern. Here is another offshoot onto the trail. So this is a run I like to take that gets really hilly and goes directly to the lake. And it lands at a beautiful gazebo on the lake. It's just amazing. And this trail goes all the way up to another park with a playground called Rundy Park. The first one I showed you is Trailhead Park. Rundy Park is at the fire station and has some baseball, softball fields where the kids will play if they're playing baseball here. And they also have some events and concerts there. So much community in this neighborhood. So these are the things you're gonna look for. Stop by City Hall, stop and see, go to the town page, cityoftegacay.com or whatever city you're looking at or whatever neighborhood you're looking at, and see if there are lists of events to go to. We have tons of events here in Tega Cay. We have a golf course. Now, I don't golf, but I keep saying I'm gonna take golf lessons. But every neighborhood I've bought a house in has been on a golf course. My house hasn't been on the course, but the neighborhood has. This neighborhood, another selling point for me, also has a lake. Do you need water nearby? I do, right here on the lake. My house isn't on the lake, but the neighborhood is. I can run to the lake. I'm on the paddle team on the lake. I'm on that water. That's real important to me that I didn't have to drive to go find water. And I don't have to drive to work out. And normally I'd be running, but since I'm talking to you, I'm taking a little walk, a brisk little walk. So this gives like a really nice walkability because you can walk here. We also have a marina where you can put boats. You can rent a slip at the marina or you can rent a boat, a pontoon. So other things that you can think about for your house is, do you want a cul-de-sac? Here's an important one. Do you want one level housing? So here's something that some people might not think about. As I'm in my 50s, if I were purchasing a home right now that I think is going to be my forever home, I would be looking for one level. Now, I don't need it right now, but in 20, 30 years, if I'm still there, you know, I'm gonna want one level living and not have to deal with stairs. And maybe I need to think about investing in some handrails. So think about if you are older and you're looking for a home, you wanna make it where you can age. You want one level. Like, I would not be buying 2 stories right now. I live in 2 stories right now, and I'll probably live there for a while. But if I sell it and move into my next home, I will be looking for a ranch because stairs are more difficult for older people. Not right now, though. Not right now. But in your 20s, absolutely not really that big a thing. In your 30s, with kids and things like that, unless you're moving in your parents, it's really not too big of an issue. So why don't you tell me in comments, what are the most important things to you? Did this jog any ideas of what you're looking for that's most important for you with a house? There are things that people look at that they're like, oh, deal breaker, that are totally fixable. Like maybe the yard isn't as pretty as they want it to be. I'm like, well, you can landscape it. Or there's things you can change. Maybe you don't like the color of the walls, paint them. But there are things you can't change, like if it's 1 story or 2 stories, unless you're like adding on to the house. And where it's located and whether you can walk outside and run, which is what I need to do no matter where I live. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed our little walk on the Tega Cay trails. I love it here. And I hope that you decide when you're looking for a realtor in the greater Charlotte area that you know I'm Britt Olson, and I'm your realtor. All right, have a great day.